Ew, what's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, I got a crazy leak for you, man, right now. Anthony, Robert Belchua, got some leaked training footage, and people have been saying, YB, you're a hater. Listen, people, I'm straight down the line. I don't shill for no one. Yeah, when Usyk was politicking to take AJ's WBO belt, I didn't back that. I said categorically, and I was getting heat for it at the time. People was telling me, YB, Usyk's a champion at a former weight, so he should be able to come up and have a go. I said, listen, Usyk, this is heavyweight boxing. This ain't like a jump from 147 to 154. Heavyweight boxing. You need to do some. Especially after people was telling me, oh, Usyk was playing possum against Chisora. But after that Chisora performance, you got to bear in mind how I do things, people. I don't do things based on the moody rules that some moody old dude wrote. I do things based on logic. Yeah, and there was nothing logical about seeing Usyk in there 50-50 with Chisora and then trying to strip one of AJ's belts. That was whack and fugazi. Especially when the WBO had ordered, before Usyk started politicking for AJ's WBO belt, for him to fight Joe Joyce. I said Usyk should fight Joe Joyce, beat him, which he most doubtably would have done, and then press AJ. Because then you've done something. You've taken out the next best contender, who at the time was Joe Joyce, and you're up next. But going life and death with Chisora wasn't getting me interested like that. You hadn't done anything at the weight yet, which is how it should be. Anywho, that happened, and that's what it was. Now the script flips, and now AJ's robbing about. Even it's different though. Usyk's beat this guy already, right? So as far as disrespect and moodiness goes, to be fair to Usyk, he was champion at cruiserweight. He had cleared out that division, and he came up and wanted his shot. So that's not as bad as what AJ's doing here. Usyk done punched you up twice. He done punched you up already. There's nothing IBF champion about you. Usyk not only punched your ass up, he punched the Wow ass up, and he just punched Fury up. That's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable run that Usyk's on right now. And continuing to be on, he's going to fight Fury again. Anyway, I'll give you that history. It's completely irrelevant to this video, but I just want to set the scene here. So I'm not a hater. And what I see here is I like this from AJ. I've been saying this for a long time about the training techniques AJ should have been doing. AJ clearly, like most people, it's not natural, you know. It's not natural to have someone whacking you in the head. Yeah? And a lot of trainers, they're all about going forward and whacking something. But what happens when you get whacked back? I've been saying for a long time, AJ, yeah, needs to do rounds just practicing his defense, being calm under pressure, which is something he certainly is not. When Andy Ruiz is letting his hands go, he's like, grabbing headlights. Which is that's the normal way to be. The most generic. Everyone born, yeah, when someone's putting it on you, it's like, you don't know what to do unless you've been schooled immensely. It's never going to be even the best fighters. It's never a natural thing. Even Canelo, for example, one of the most natural kind of tight defense dudes. When Bivol's whacking him in his head, yeah, even he looks a bit like, oh, what's going on, kind of thing. That's the most top, right? It's not natural. So you have to spend a lot of time not getting in sparring and bowling people over and bullying them. You have to spend a lot of time just taking shots, using your eyes, not closing. Again, human nature is someone's coming at you, close your eyes and kind of pull your head up. Close your eyes, and that's no good. You have to have sharp eyes, watching the hands, good reactions, putting your eye, what your eyes see with what your hands are doing. I see the hook coming, whoop. I see the jab coming, whoop. Right hand, whoop, etc, etc. Anyway, this training footage has been leaked, and I want you man to peep this, because I rated this, ain't gonna lie. I'm going to turn the music off because the shots sound good though. I'm turning the music off because obviously the copyright pagans they're active. So AJ's here, man, and you got this big old bull. This big old Calvin Candy looking ass bull featuring Willie Lynch. Proper bull here. Yeah, and I've got someone told me, one of my Saudi connects, that Turkey, he fixing to fly this man in. Turkey, after watching this video of this bull here, I don't know his name, an unnamed bull, but Turkey, he see the back muscles and he want him. So, listen. Do I agree with what the Desert Diddy's doing? Does the YB agree and endorse the Desert Diddy's actions? Yeah, we've seen the Desert Diddy. He turned out Dana White. Dana White got. He turned out Eddie Hearns. He turned out Bricktop. He turned out Johnston, touching his leg and whatnot. So we've seen that. Them man have been got. But this dude here, he need to get paid. Yeah? And obviously he'll make some little mash training AJ, but the Desert Diddy will put this cat on. Big bull here. Anyway, so AJ's doing some training, defense only, with the big bull. The big bull whacking. Look at this. Now, obviously, as far as Usyk goes, this would be the wrong thing to do in a Usyk camp. Not the idea, but the opponent you've got. If I was training AJ for Usyk, yeah, I wouldn't have a big bull in there. I'd have some lightweight dude who's going to skip around and slap you in the face. Usyk's a completely different ball game, right? There's not only confidence and being comfortable under pressure. There's different types of pressure. You've got like a Daniel Dubois pressure, who's coming forward and winging big shots. Then you've got a Usyk pressure, who's more like he's stepping in, slapping you in your mouth. He's slapping you in your mouth in between your punches. He's stepping off. He's spinning off. He's slapping you again. It's all like rapid. He's not digging so much. He certainly wasn't again in both AJ fights. It's a complete different ball game. It's more, what's the word? It's more disorientating. You don't know whether you're coming or going with Usyk. 1 minute it's there, next minute it's a bit like a video game. He's just shape shifting. He's stepping in, slapping you. You're trying to get your punch off, and he's slapping. Usyk doesn't have much of a conversation. Traditionally, yeah, fights happen in conversations. You punch, I defend. He punches. It's like a conversation. You whack, I post up. You whack, I post up. I whack, you post up. Usyk, he doesn't have that rhythm, that standard boxing rhythm. It's all, no matter, even if he doesn't sit there and wait for the conversation. Yeah? Usyk will punch you when you're not expecting it. He's unorthodox in his approach. So it's a whole different ball game. Anyway, I've digressed. The reason I'm talking about Usyk is because ultimately that's where AJ got to be looking. But still, for the Dubois fight, this makes sense. Yeah, Dubois is a big old bull. He's going to be slower. He's going to be putting big singles together, and they're going to be looping around like this guy here, essentially. Yeah? And I like AJ's eyes. AJ's got his eyes. He's looking. He's not getting bedazzled. He's not backpedaling. This is proper stuff here. This is what you need to do. Yeah, the bull coming forward, whacking him, digging to the body, and AJ's got his eyes on. He's looking. He's catching. He's calm. And it's good to see people. This is what he needs, man. The only thing I will say is, this guy is throwing big singles. And that's a great place to start. But Dubois, this guy really, I'm not going to lie, this bull here, he reminds me of Canelo in that sense. The way he wings his shots, beautiful to watch, really aesthetic, if I'm honest. As far as hooks go, this is like Canelo. This guy like a big muscly Canelo as far as his hook and uppercut. Look, it's beautiful. Whoop. Like proper, like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it looks aesthetic. He's not like Tyson Fury. You never see him punch like that. He's slapping like this, just slapping his hands around. So, this is good for AJ to do, to get that, to be calm under heavy shots and no head guard on. To be calm under pressure and taking big whacks. The only thing I would say about Dubois is Dubois, as he showed in the Hergovich fight, Dubois is not going to be... Canelo, like this dude here, is known for big singles. Dubois really, he throws the odd big single, but recently, in the past, he was more of a 1-2er / maybe a 3 on the end. Now, though, he's coming in with his head and just winging away like 3-4 punch combinations, hooks and uppercuts. He's putting his hands together, essentially, which again adds another layer of complexity. That's how Bivol busts up Canelo. And that's why people think, myself included, that Crawford will piece Canelo up. Because if all you've got is 1 or 2, it gets exponentially harder when someone's throwing more than 2 punches. Most people can catch, most top boxers can catch 2 punches. Right? That's what Bivol could do. Bivol could see Carrot Top's loading up and he's going to do 1 or 2. And you know, once Carrot Top's done his 1 or 2, he's ready. He's going to have to take a half a minute to reset and try again. It adds another layer of complexity when someone's throwing 4, 5, 6. Even the greatest defensive fighters. Look at Floyd. If you go in there with Floyd, yeah, and you're throwing 1 or 2, he can deal with that all night. The times he's out of trouble, Maidana 1, De La Hoya. The times he had trouble is when you're getting on him and slapping him everywhere and he's trying to roll, but inevitably you get caught. You can't read that many punches. You can't. After about 2 punches, you're just hoping at that point. You're just moving your head and rolling, hoping that you don't get clipped. You're actually seeing it. The first 1 or 2 you actually see coming. After that, it's just too much to understand. So I'd like to see AJ add in this bull here. He loading up, which is no doubt a good place to start. We don't know how much how deep he is into this type of training. But he's been with Ben Davison for a while, so I don't think Ben Davison, this can't be new. All I'd say is, again, good place to start, but I'd like to see real imitation of Dubois. Watch Dubois' tapes back, yeah, and see what he gets off. And this bull here should be literally mimicking that. Yeah, come in with your head like Dubois does, and I'm not sure what Dubois actually does. I think it's like, I don't know, let's call it, he throws like, I don't know, it's a bunch, doesn't he? He throws a whole bunch of punches. But everyone has habits. And even in that Hrgovic fight, Dubois had habits. I can't remember exactly what they were, but it was something like he'd jab and then he'd just wing off four hooks or something. Left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook. Literally, Dubois is quite predictable, as are most fighters. They like to do what they like to do. When Dubois was coming in with his head with Hrgovic, he was doing a similar thing or a similar 2 or 3 things every time. Ben Davison need to get this bull to literally, okay, we're going to get you coming in with your head and doing exactly what Dubois does. Because Dubois doesn't do exactly this. He doesn't plod forward and wing 1 or 2 big shots in with big reloading periods. Dubois, 1, 2, hook, 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 uppercut, hook, that kind of thing. Needs to be more volume on there. But again, it's better than what he was doing before. Rob McCrappen was never teaching AJ that's for sure. He just wasn't. AJ himself even said, McCrappen never taught me no defence. I don't believe he did. He taught AJ how to hit something. But being calm under pressure is a whole different skill set. In my opinion, it's the most valuable skill set you can have. Not being... not choking when someone putting it on you. And it's the most unnatural thing to do. Yeah, people can be natural punchers. People can have natural good cardio. Naturally being calm under pressure, I mean, I'm yet to see it. Ultimately, even Carrot Top, again. Carrot Top's all well and good until Bivol on his ass. And all of a sudden, he wasn't so calm no more. It's easy to be calm, yeah, when you know you're the one with a nuclear deterrent. Yeah, Carrot Top knows when he's in there with Billy Ho and Caleb Plantpot, their man can't punch. Yes, Eminem has great bars, but he can't punch like that, right? Who here think Eminem Plant can punch? No one. So you can be calm then. But when Bivol in there whacking you in your head and you're feeling it, it's like, oh damn, I don't really like this anymore. It's not fun anymore, right? Who here thought Carrot Top was having fun in that Bivol fight? No one did. He was not having fun at all. He was shook. He was pressed on the ropes like, come on, come get me. Wow. You never saw Carrot Top on the ropes with Billy Joe or with Plant Pot, right? So he got turned out. Anyway, get this bull here. This Calvin Candy looking ass bull. Django. Mandingo cat. Mandingo for sure. Get this Mandingo Ben Davison to start mimicking Dubois. Yeah, 4, 5, 6 shots. Because that's what you have to do. Catching big singles is one thing. Maintaining your composure. Maintaining your form. Not leaning back. Maintaining that stance where you're ready to punch. It's one thing with big singles. A whole nother ball game when you got a big old dude running in with his head. And that's when you get leaky. That's what Ruiz showed. Right? AJ was okay when it was 1 shot at a time. As everyone, like I keep telling you, everyone's okay when it's 1 at a time. It's a exponential complexity when you've got someone like Ruiz rattling off 4, 5, 6 shots. That's when it's a whole different ball game. And Dubois doesn't have the speed of Ruiz, but he has heavier hands, which means the cost of any one of them 4 or 5 getting through is a lot greater. But he's slower. He's going to be more readable than someone like Ruiz. So it's just a case of training your eyes and your brain and your hands to react in the right ways to split seconds. It's a split second you get to see a hook's coming, rather than a jab or whatever. Split second. But the key principle is, number 1, keep your chin down. AJ does come in a bit like, you never see him just suck to his chin, suck to his chest. From what I understand, there's no benefit at all to having your chin up. You might as well just suck it right down. Because when your chin's right down here, yeah, you get protection from your shoulders. It's actually quite hard to hit the chin if it's here, right? What are you going to hit? They might clip your nose with a straight or something, but it's quite hard to get hit spark on your chin. Although AJ has a soft spot here. But even if you have a soft spot in the centre of your head, your ability to defend the centre of your head, yeah, when your chin's down is easier because it's lower. So if I'm a hand, I can have my hands here, yeah, and just slide it up 2 inches. If your head's up here, you've got to go twice as long, and then you've opened up your body. Does that make sense? Right? My chin's down here, I can protect my head and my body. If my chin's up here, I can only do one at a time. And what happens is, if you start, a lot of people, they catch the hook like this. They bring their elbow up, and then they get whipped to the body, and then it's almost like a trade-off. And Dubois was doing some body punching on Herkovich. And you've only got to get dinged. We've seen a lot of body shot KOs, yeah. You've only got to get touched in this area a certain way, and all of a sudden you're going to forget about your head completely and start tucking your elbows in. At which point, boop, your head gets... You're Humpty Dumpty. We know AJ can't afford to be touched on his Humpty Dumpty, right? So, keep your chin sucked to your chest, yeah? You're the taller man anyway. So you don't need to be longer than Dubois. And even if you are need to be long, look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was 5 inches taller than Usyk, yeah? And he tried all that, let's be long and lean back. Oops. Sugar Hill said. So even if you are unanimously taller than your opponent, there's still no advantage of leaning back and sticking your chin in the air. Chin down at all times. I feel like if I were training someone, I'd have a tiny ball and just stick it under their chin and say, listen man, don't drop that ball. And if you drop that ball, I'm picking the phone up to Desert Diddy, and he fixing to have a session with your ass. That's the motivation I give Johnston. I said, listen, Johnston, do you want another special session with Desert Diddy? Do you want another special session with the Desert Diddy? Diddy of the desert. Oh no, you don't. You best keep that ball right under your chops. But his chin position here looks pretty sweet, to be fair. This looks pretty sweet. He's not. Yeah, he looks good, man. It's good. He's not trying to backpedal out of there. But it's one thing in them big gloves, them 18, 20 ounce gloves. It's one thing with them 18, 20 ounce gloves, another thing with the 10 ounces on, which makes it even more critical that you have the eye coordination, and even more critical your chin's lower. Because with big gloves, you can have your head higher and it covers them. It covers it half. It covers almost everything. With them little gloves, there's so many more holes. You've got to be super duper tight. You've got to suck that glove to your head like your life depends on it. And even here, at points, if I teach boxing, yeah, I'd teach the carrot top pitbull cruise method. Hands spark on front of your head at all times. Like, stick it to your head. What AJ's doing here is somewhat reactive. You see him here, yeah? He's got gaps on the side of his barnet, which requires you... It's a lot easier, practically, to just stick your hands to your head than it is to have to react. If your hands... There's a reason Canelo, yeah, can just go forward with his hands here. Right? And if a hook comes, you can kind of check it with a 2-inch move to the side. You haven't got to react then. And as much as people like to train, like to think, I'll react to it, I'll have my hands here and I'll whoop, whoop, like you're in the Matrix. It don't really work like that. It just don't. All the best fighters, Bivol, Beterbiev, Canelo, they know how to put their hand spark on their head when it comes to it. They ain't doing all the they're not trying to be in the Matrix. Beep, beep, catching power. It's just stick it here. If all else fails, stick your gloves to your head. And that's one thing I've never seen AJ do. He does this one sometimes where he has his elbows in the air. I did a video on it years ago. Elbows in the air. He sticks them to his temples, but it's not. I'd like to see him just get his chin down and stick it to his head. Not try and rely on being loose as a goose, because that's a bad place to start. You're starting your hands here. That means you have to react to something. And that's how you end up bent out of shape. That's how you end up sticking your arms out, because you don't know what's going on. From this point here, you got a base. Yeah? I know from this point, I can catch a hook, right, or parry. It's tight. From here, you're parrying this, you're catching that. You're just like all over the shop. Before you know, I've done videos on it. Before you know it, AJ is against Ruiz, and his arms are like this, like he don't know what's going on. And with Fury, when Fury was getting pressed by Usyk, his hands are low and he's trying to pull back and loose as a goose, no good. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, lick off the bell, and all that about it, people. Stop it.